back, I guess, right? Are we back, Jill? All right, we're back on YouTube. Let me pull up YouTube. I'm sorry, guys. I don't know what's going on here. The gremlins. We got gremlins. And let me go back to Facebook here. And hopefully this doesn't happen a third time. This happened on Friday, too, so I apologize. We thought we had it fixed. And apparently we don't have it fixed. Very frustrating to all involved. It is extraordinarily frustrating. But let's go to our next caller. Let's go to Samin in Queens. Samin.
Yes, Brad. How are you?
How are you?
Good, good. I called you the other day, but I forgot one more question. That is, I'm married to a U.S. citizen. I got my 10-year green card through the marriage, but somehow we divorced. I told you already. And I'm reaching my 4 years, 9 months, and 3 days, like you said every time. I'm reaching at this month to file my citizenship.
Right.
So somehow, after I moved from Connecticut to New York last year, I got the first ticket because I'm a driver. So
you can get a ticket. It's fine. The driving ticket doesn't affect your citizenship.
Because the thing is this: the court, the DME, they have their own courts. So they schedule me. Last year I got the ticket. They scheduled me for this month, same month for the hearing date. But now they send me another letter for reschedule because the officer have to go do something else. So they give me another. So if I file my citizenship, is that okay?
Yeah, as long as
for the officer.
Yeah, just get it resolved before your interview, which will be in 9 months from now. But it's a driving infraction, so it's not going to affect your citizenship anyway.
So I can still file at the same after.
Absolutely. Yes.
Okay.
But remember, it's
Thank you very much, Brad.
4 years, 9 months, 3 days.
Right. Correctly.
All right.
I got this September 2015.
Okay.
So this is September 2020. So
yeah, you're already here.
Right?
You're past the. Yeah, you can file right now.
Thank you, Brad.
Right.
I appreciate it. Have a good.
All right, let's go to Brian in Denver. Brian.
Hey, how's it going, man?
How are you?
Good, good. So I had a question for my sister. So she's been married to a citizen for about 4 or 5 years now, and she's never filed any I-130 or anything like that. But it's been an abusive relationship. Does she apply for a VAWA?
Absolutely. You don't have to. You just have to file a VAWA and qualify for a VAWA. You just have to show you're an abused spouse and it was a real marriage, whether or not the spouse ever filed for her or not.
Okay, and does she need a police report? Because she never had a police report due to
You don't
fear.
need a police report to prove you were abused.
Okay.
So hold on 1 second.
One more thing.
Oh, yeah. Go ahead.
So she's since she's separated now, they're still married, but she was planning on getting food stamps, but I told her that might be a bad idea.
She was planning on what? Getting divorced?
Getting food stamps.
Food stamps. That's okay because as an abused spouse, you can get government assistance. It's fine. And for the kids, it's fine.
Okay.
All right?
That was my question, man.
All right.
Thank you, man.
You're welcome. All right. Let's go to Leslie in Spring Valley. Leslie.
Hello, Mr. Brown.
Hi, how are you?
I'm good. So I have a question. I'm on Elias alien.
Leslie, are you in a submarine? Got to take a step to the right.
Hello?
I don't hear you.
You hear me now?
Yes, now I do.
Yes. I'm on Elias alien. So I filed for asylum in 2013. And then the case was administratively closed.
Oh, great.
And then I get married. So I have now on pending adjustment and a VAWA pending. So I would like to know if the VAWA case will be approved, and then
if you're an abused spouse and you can prove it was a real marriage, yes, the VAWA case will be approved. If you're an arriving alien, you can file to adjust your status. You may not even need a 212 waiver because it sounds like they never ordered you deported. Your case was administratively closed. So I would file an adjustment. You don't even need a waiver, it sounds like to me.
Yes, the adjustment is pending. I filed concurrently.
So everything is fine. You're asking me, will you be approved? I don't have the slightest idea. I didn't handle your case. But procedurally, you're doing the right thing.
So I would like to know, again, if I can reopen the asylum. I don't have to reopen the asylum case.
No, you don't need to.
Oh, okay.
All right.
So second question. I have a second question, please.
Go.
Hello?
Yeah, go. I'm listening.
Yes. So if I have a green card through VAWA, can I travel to my home country?
Once you have the green card, yes, and they adjust your status.
Oh, okay. Even though I apply for asylum first?
Yes. After you get a green card, you should just write the court and say, I have a green card, please terminate my proceedings.
Oh, okay. Thank you so much.
As long as you was administrative closed and you never got ordered deported.
Okay, thank you so much.
All right. Good luck.
All right.
All right, let's go to Colwinder in Marysville, Indiana.
Hello, sir. Brad, how are you?
Good. How you doing?
Good. Thanks for taking the call.
My pleasure.
I have a couple of questions. I'm here asylum case, but I married here 2016, and my I-130 is approved, and I have a kid. But since 7 months, me and my wife have a problem with the relationship, and she just abusing me for the stuff for the deportation, this that, and I'm wondering I'm available for that VAWA or no?
You can always file a VAWA. Whether you get approved for that, I don't have the slightest idea. I would need to speak with you and go through your entire case. If you can prove you're physically abused, if you can prove extreme emotional abuse, and you're a person of good moral character, and it was a real marriage, yes, that will get you approved. Those are two different questions. One question is, can I file? Anybody can file. The two raccoons, assuming they were humans, who did the art can file. Anyone can file. Whether or not it gets approved, I don't know. I would have to see everything.
And one more thing, I have my court date on next year, March month, in here, Chicago. So before that, I can apply?
A court date for what? For your asylum?
Yes.
I would file the I-360 now, not the adjustment, but file the I-360 immediately.
Okay.
And if you need, and I think you need help, whenever you're in removal, honestly, if you think you're going to do it without a lawyer, statistically, I
was following you since long time, and I was trying to talk with you.
I just want to tell you, statistically, people who represent themselves in the deportation hearing win their cases less than 5% of the time, and people who hire lawyers win their cases more than 80% of the time. So, I mean, everyone in removal should be getting a lawyer.
Okay, thanks.
All right, but hold on one second. Let's go to Victor in Pullman, Washington. Victor.
Hi, Brad.
How are you?
I'm doing good. Thank you for.
Yeah, go ahead.
I have two questions for you.
Yes.
One is, what are the supporting documents needed for N400 for a 5 years green card?
To file the application?
Yes, to file the application.
A copy of your green card. That's it.
That's all, because there is a portion there that says that you need supporting documents. So I've only put in my tax return there.
Yeah,
so I don't know if
you can if you want, or you can bring your tax returns to the interview. You will need other documents for your interview. You will need to bring proof that you filed your taxes for the last 5 years. You will need proof that if you pay child support, that it's up to date. You'll need proof you have good moral character. So if you've ever been arrested, they're going to say, bring in your dispositions. If you got to be able to read and write and speak English and pass the test of government history. They're going to ask you to bring in your birth certificate and your passport to prove that you didn't take any trips more than 6 months. You're going to need divorce decrees and marriage certificates and death certificates, and proof that you qualified for your green card, however you may have gotten your green card. For example, if you got sponsored in a job, proof that you went to work for that particular job. All of that is at the time of the interview. To answer your question, what do you need to file your naturalization application? Just a copy of your green card.
Oh, okay. And my second question is, if you get a traffic ticket and the ticket was dismissed by court, do you still need to include these information in your N400?
If you got arrested, yes. If it was just literally a traffic ticket, show up to court and the judge dismissed it, no.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
All right. Let's go to Sissy in Indianapolis, Indiana. Sissy.
Hello, Uncle Brad.
Hi, how are you?
I'm good. Actually, I already hired you, so you're my lawyer, but
Great.
I have a question.
What?
I am married to a U.S. citizen, but I am 53 years old.
What?
And I am 53 years old, 5'3".
You're 53.
Yes.
Okay.
And she's 37. Is that a problem when I file?
53 and 37?
Yes.
You mean in terms of marriage?
Yes.
I don't see that as a problem. It's a real marriage. It's a real marriage.
Okay.
All right?
Yes, sir. That's my question.
Okay.
Thank you.
Let's go to Kenny in Hyattsville, Maryland. Kenny.
Hi.
Hi, how are you?
Yeah, I'm good. I'm married to a U.S. citizen, and then we went for our interview February 25th, 2020, this year, only to get a notification that the interview was cancelled. I got the notification about 1 or 2 weeks ago. I can't remember now. And we've gone for an interview, and it went well.
Okay, so you finally went. So what's the question?
The question is, why would they cancel an interview after we've gone for the interview? Months after we've gone for before COVID, after we've gone for the interview.
I think it sounds like it's a computer error more than anything else. You already went for the interview, right?
Yeah, we went for the interview February. They sent us a letter this month that it was cancelled, that we should wait for another feedback.
Well, maybe they're going to call you for a second interview.
Maybe.
Yeah,
Okay.
I don't know.
The second question is, my mom is a green card holder. I don't know, maybe as a backup plan, if she can file for me. I don't know how sensible that is.
No, that makes no sense because she can't, because you're married. And if you're in a bona fide loving marriage, you shouldn't worry about it, and you'll get a green card. If it's something less than a bona fide loving marriage, you got big issues, and your mom filing for you ain't going to help you anyway, even if you were single, because it's 5-7 year wait.
Oh, okay.
All right,
Okay.
so hopefully you get through. Hold on 1 second. Let's go to Nancy in San Diego. Nancy.
Hi,
how
Uncle Brad.
How you doing?
Yeah, good. I actually filed for asylum in 2017, and later on I got married in 2019, and I adjusted my status.
Great.
So January 2020, I received RFE for birth certificate and taxes, in which I responded to them. So now it's been 9 months since January 2020 till September. I've not seen any updates on my case. And I called them like several times, and they said it's pending background check.
This is on your citizenship.
On the family base of I-130
so you haven't gone through yet?
Yeah.
Usually, after 9 months, if you haven't gotten approved yet, I don't buy that background check. They don't think it's a real marriage, or you didn't prove to them to their satisfaction it's a real marriage. So either they're investigating your marriage at this point, or they'll call you for a second interview. That's probably what's going to happen.
No, I've not gone for any interview at all.
Oh, you have
They've not scheduled me for any interview at all.
So you're only pending 9 months already. Your adjustment application?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, because of COVID, that's not unusual. After 15, 16 months, if you still don't have an interview, call me back.
Okay. Yeah, that was what I was so worried about.
Yeah, no. They just use those terms under. It's just they haven't scheduled it yet. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, okay. All right. Thank you.
All right. Crazy day today with this technology here. But if you didn't get your immigration questions answered, you can always follow me at Real Brad Bernstein on Instagram. Drop me a DM. I'll be happy to answer it. You can also follow us at Brad Show Live. If you follow us at Brad Show Live, you'll get the best 2-3 minutes of our show. Now, that when we got kicked off the air, that wasn't the best 2-3 minutes. You'll get other minutes, different minutes. very good minutes. So follow us at Bradshaw Live on Instagram too. Yo and Vanessa, you there or you got kicked off?
Nope, we're here.
All right. You have anything to tell people?
Yeah, you guys can follow me at Yonathan Elias TV on all social media platforms.
And you guys can find me at Vanessa.Contreras TV.
So on Friday, September 11th, the Second Circuit, this is important stuff, the Second Circuit Court issued a decision effectively staying the injunction on the Department of Homeland Security's public charge rule, which means now that USCIS will most likely begin requiring the I944 form again. So we had a premature celebration. We thought we didn't need the I944 form, but apparently now we will because Trump won in the Second Circuit. Now, in this attorney insight, Vanessa spoke with Spar Bernstein partner and immigration attorney Shannon LaGuerre-Maingrette about what this means and what people should know about the form I944. It's very important to watch. Let's watch.
Second Circuit Court issued a decision effectively staying the injunction on the Department of Homeland Security's public charge rule. Unfortunately, that means that all 50 states, even the 3 states of New York, Connecticut, and Vermont, which before were not affected by the DHS public charge rule, now will be. And with this ruling comes the expectation that the USCIS will begin requiring the I944 form again. To tell us exactly what this means in layperson's term is Spar Bernstein partner and immigration attorney Shannon LaGuerre-Maingrette. Hey Shannon, how are you?
Hi Vanessa, how you feeling?
I'm great. Not too excited about seeing this, and I know the squad is going to have a lot of questions, so glad to have you here to have this conversation. Okay, Shannon, so what does this new ruling mean?
So on September 11th, here, the Second Circuit actually issued a decision indicating that the injunction, just like you indicated before, there were 3 states, which is under the jurisdiction of the Second Circuit, New York, Connecticut, and Vermont, that the I-944 was not required in those particular areas until a final rule came out from the Second Circuit. So basically, they were just waiting. And at this point, as of September 11th, they're like, okay, you know what? We believe that the district court who actually had this injunction, this stay, did not have jurisdiction. And so at this point, basically, USCIS has demonstrated a likelihood that they will win or have a success on the merits of the case, a likelihood. It's not a decision, but just a likelihood. So at this point, those 3 states may basically have to go back and actually start filing I-944s. It's really important because this is a decision that just came out on September 11th on Friday. People are still reviewing it, trying to figure out what's going on. There's a fee increase that's going to be coming up October 2nd. So any applications that are filed after October 2nd, there's going to be a fee increase. So people are really rushing to get things out. And now you have this little wrinkle with the I-944 and whether or not that will be mandated.
Just so the Brad squad is clear, what exactly is the I-944 form?
So this is a new form that came out. It's 18 pages long, very, very detailed. You have to submit documents to basically show that you're able to take care of yourself. So for example, if you are applying for a green card, primarily that's what this is being used for, you need to be able to demonstrate that you are basically self-sufficient or that you have family that can take care of you, but that you're not going to be primarily dependent on public benefits. So there are a lot of questions that are asked. So again, the I-864 does determine whether or not the person who is the petitioner, the person sponsoring you, have the assets, have the financial resource to be able to support you. But now basically they're looking to see, are you the actual applicant, the person requesting the green card? Are you basically, is there a likelihood that you're going to become dependent on public benefits? So they ask you questions, for example, about your credit report. And so keep in mind, there are a lot of people who are here in this country who don't have a credit report. So they're requiring you that you show that you either, number one, don't have a credit score or don't have a credit report. And if you do, that you need to basically submit that. And a lot of times they're asking you about your educational background because they want to see in the future, will you be able to work in the future? So if you have an education, even if it's from another country, they want you to be able to demonstrate, this is the education that I have. These are certificates. So we've been asking a lot of our clients, submit certificates from what you did back in your country. And if you've done anything here, certainly that can make you employable, make sure you submit that also. They're also asking questions about whether or not you speak English and evidence of that. So some lawyers are basically submitting affidavits where you're indicating as the applicant that I can speak English, and I basically swear and attest to that. I've done it basically where I've had people who come from English speaking countries demonstrate, like with their educational background, that they completed school in their country and that they speak English. But these are some of the things that are being taken into consideration because they want to make sure, because they're weighing, and that's really what's important here with the I-944 and the new public charge rule, is they're weighing what is the likelihood of you being able to be self-sufficient, right? What is the likelihood that you'll be able to support yourself without being primarily dependent on government benefits?
And where do you find the forms, Shannon?
So that's a great question, right? So because of all this litigation that's going on surrounding the I-944, this basically went into effect where the I-944, we needed to file it after February 24, 2020. That's when the rule came into effect. And then after there's been all this litigation, as you can imagine, that's been going on, like Supreme Court, all of a sudden now you have district courts and you now have the Second Circuit. So there's been like injunctions, there's been stays. It's been very, very complicated. And so USCIS has actually taken it off their website, and basically it's not really available at this time. And I think what they're doing is they're waiting for the final rule. You do have the other jurisdictions who are still submitting what they have, basically looking it up. If they already filed it, they're filing it. But in New York at this particular time, and Vermont and Connecticut, certainly I looked it up today, it still wasn't on there, but it looks like there's probably going to be some kind of decision, just like they did with DACA. They're going to come out with something indicating this is what's required, etc.
Okay, Shannon, so is there anything specific people should keep in mind when filling out the I-944 form?
So the I-944 form, again, is relatively new and extremely complicated. So I think it's really important that you reach out to an experienced immigration attorney in order for you to be able to make sure that it's filled out appropriately. So again, before, as we were discussing, there are documents that you need, and you may not have those documents. So how many of my clients are going to have credit reports, right? Not many. They're not going to have a credit score. So basically what I've been doing in lieu of that is showing, like, if they have bills in their names, then basically they're submitting those bills to show that they've paid in a timely manner and that basically they don't owe. And that looks good because it's almost demonstrating, yes, I do pay bills. I am responsible. I am self-sufficient. I may not have a credit score or credit report at this particular time, but I have something to show you that basically I'm paying my bills on time. And again, they're weighing, and I think that's really what's important when it comes to I-944, they're weighing, bad factors and good factors. And that basically is why you want to have as many good factors as possible in order to demonstrate that you will be self-sufficient and you're not going to be, dependent on public benefits for the immigrant community. And the way that it impacts it is that you've had a lot of people who have basically decided that they're going to, even before it became a rule, I'm going to get off this particular public benefit. There's an expansion of the public benefits that, will be taken into consideration for the I-944 and this new public charge rule. There's an expansion of it, but that doesn't mean that all of them you're basically going to be penalized for in some way, shape, or form, or it's going to be taken into consideration. So that's why it's really important to speak to an attorney, because again, it's about weighing. And then you have a lot of immigrants who are scared now to actually even file because they're like, you know what, I'm afraid, because they really don't know the information. All they hear is that basically there's this new form, they ask you for all these documents, and basically it's harder to become a green card holder. So you have a lot of people who are basically staying and saying they're not going to file any longer. And that is problematic. Definitely if you have to demonstrate that you speak English and you don't, how do you do that? And so again, it's being creative and being able to speak to an attorney who can basically assist you with that and the arguments being made at the interviews. Again, there's so much litigation around this that this hasn't really been adjudicated yet in regards to an I-944. So we're waiting to see like what happens. I think even the officers are just kind of waiting for a final ruling.
Okay, Shannon. So it sounds like there's back and forth with some of these changes, you know, which changes things for the community. How exactly does this affect the immigrant community?
It's very important to realize that this I-944, this public charge, is an inadmissibility test that has been around, right, since 1883. Congress basically wanted immigrants to be able to demonstrate that they're able to take care of themselves and that they're not going to go on public benefits. So that's been around. The concern now is that you have this I-944 that is requiring, you know, evidence to demonstrate, and a lot of it, some immigrants don't have access to. And so you have a lot of immigrants now who are afraid, right? So like we talked about the English requirement, right? So you have people who come from non-English speaking countries having to demonstrate that they speak English or in the future will be able to learn English. And sometimes people are like, how do you do that? I don't know how to do that. And there's a fear that exists. And then as a result, they end up not filing the application for adjustment or even consular processing because they're basically scared. And I think that's really what's problematic, is basically you're putting a fear in the community that, hey, this is not good for you. And you have people basically not applying at this particular time or not reaching out even to an attorney for a consultation because they're hearing from the community, they're hearing from like newspapers that this is a problem and not realizing that we can find a way through it. It's just that you need an attorney that's creative and being able to guide you on what needs to be done. Everyone, basically make sure that you reach out to your attorney for updates because this, again, is a contentious litigation. There's so many things that are being decided. Second Circuit basically at this point still have the merits of the case before them. So reach out to your attorney to see what's going on, just to see basically if there's any updates on what needs to be done. And again, just keep checking the website also. But I think it's very, very important that you reach out to an attorney that's experienced. We certainly can assist you here at Spar Bernstein with that.
Shannon, thank you so much for this information. The squad definitely needs to stay posted on everything going on. If you or someone you know is concerned about filling out the I-944 Declaration of Self-Sufficiency form, call Spar Bernstein at 1-800-529-5465. Again, the number is 1-800-529-5465.
Let's do something we like to call social media checking. All right, what do we got?
All right, Maria Dixon on Facebook asks, how long after receiving a notice of approval for a work permit will I get the actual document?
Within 2 or 3 weeks.
Navneet Singh on Facebook, how are retrogression cases handled and why are they sent to the National Visa Center post-interview? What will the National Visa Center do once the date becomes current again?
What are Russian cases? What was he asking?
No, retrogression cases.
Oh, why are they sent to the National Visa Center? Because visas were available, now they're no longer available, and once they become available, the National Visa Center will send it back to the embassy.
Hey, Nicole Hernandez on Facebook asks, if a child has both an American passport and a Jamaican passport with an American visa, can he use either of them to travel to the state?
No, use your American passport. You don't come as an American with a Jamaican passport with a visa.
Jerome Part on Facebook, how long does the process take if I file to bring my spouse here to the U.S.?
I have no idea where your spouse is. I know nothing about you and your relationship, but a general idea would be a little over a year.
Okay, Jordan Shalaz Polo on Facebook asks, my husband and I went on our green card interview and USCIS sent us back a denial letter. What can we do now?
Figure out why you got denied, fix it, and refile again.
Grizzly Senior on Facebook, if my friend's asylum application was denied and she didn't appeal the ruling, what will happen now?
Was it denied before an immigration officer or before a judge? If it was before an immigration officer, you're going to get put in removal. If it was denied by a judge and you didn't appeal, you've been ordered deported and you're out of luck.
DipFab Cake Affairs on Facebook asks, my sister is Nigerian and her husband is a U.S. citizen and recently attended their Stokes interview in Maryland. Days after he received an email from USCIS saying our case had been denied without any explanation. What can we do?
Figure out why it was denied. If we don't know why it was denied, then we got to get a copy of the immigration records and refile again. Obviously, they didn't believe it was a real marriage.
Can a domestic violence case be expunged?
Yes, but expungement doesn't help you. Vacated helps you.
Okay, Jordy Melando on YouTube asks, if I'm a permanent resident and my wife is a U.S. citizen, can my wife file for my brother who lives here in the States?
You're a permanent resident, your wife's a U.S. citizen. Can your wife file for your brother? No, she cannot.
Support QZ on Instagram. What is naturalization?
Becoming a citizen.
Okay, Artemis XQ on IG asks, can a refugee be deported?
Of course.
Musa Ahmed on YouTube. What is the next step after biometrics from an American citizen whose dad is British?
What is the next step after biometrics for an American citizen whose dad is British? I don't understand what you're asking. Did the American citizen file for dad? Where is dad? Did dad file an adjustment here? I guess if that's the case, then waiting on an interview.
Eva PB on YouTube asks, how long does VAWA approval take?
Anywhere from 18 months to 28 months, 30 months, somewhere between 1.5 to 2.5 years.
Faith Sambola on Facebook. If I filed for my kids and their cases are still pending, can I file for citizenship now if next month marks my 5 years?
Yes.
Okay, last one for now. Mary Healthy on YouTube asks, what is the timeline for filing the I-212 waiver?
1 year from the denial. Or if immigration, that's for visa processing abroad. If it's an adjustment and immigration gives you an RFE for it or a NOID for it, whatever that time frame is.
Awesome.
All right, so in today's Braducation, I answer the question, what's a provisional waiver? Let's watch. A provisional waiver is a waiver to waive the 10-year bar if you leave the United States to obtain an immigrant visa from another country. In 1996, Congress changed the law that said that if you are applying for a green card in another country and you lived in the United States illegally for more than 1 year, you have a 10-year bar to re-enter it. It prevented most people who overstayed on their visas, who were entered without inspection, from returning home to pick up their green cards because nobody wanted to stay home for 10 years before they were able to come back with their green card. The provisional waiver gives a waiver to that law prior to you leaving the United States. So as long as you get that provisional waiver, you can go back to your home country and if otherwise eligible, obtain your green card and then return to the United States within a matter of weeks. All right, it's Murphy's Law today. So whatever could happen will happen. And we've got a lot of dynamite under this desk. And we're blowing this baby up with me here, unless I answer 9 immigration questions in 50 seconds. Let's all pray. You ready, Yo-Yo?
Right.
Let's go. Ready, Vanessa?
Yep.
Okay, let's go.
Is there a difference between a green card and a visa?
Yes, a green card is your lawful permanent residence. A visa allows you to cross a border.
What is a non-immigrant visa?
Any visa that is not a immigrant visa, which is permanent residence.
What does USCIS stand for?
United States Citizenship Immigration Services.
Is a DUI a deportable offense?
No, but it's bad moral character.
Is a permanent resident card the same thing as a green card?
Yes.
How long does a permanent resident card last?
10 years generally.
Is domestic violence a crime of moral turpitude?
Yes, and it's also a deportable offense as a domestic violence offense.
What is an affidavit of support?
It's an affidavit that says I can support my relative.
What is naturalization?
Citizenship.
There!
Done.
No,
No.
give it to us.
Hold that. Toss those, yep.
Throw it back. Throw it back. Your
Little
head.
balloon.
Like right here.
I'm rolling it back. We should have some balloons. Come on.
The least we could have done. Technical difficulties. We couldn't not
right.
make this happen.
It's Murphy's Law today. I don't know who Murphy is, but he makes the worst goddamn laws in the world. And when his laws
Just
come,
like I don't know who Uncle Sam is, and I don't know why I have to pay him all my money.
Exactly, right. We don't like Murphy, and we don't like Uncle Sam.
Don't like that. And I don't like Sally Mae either.
Who? Oh, Sally Mae, you don't like either.
I hate her.
Yes.
Yeah.
Anybody else?
I could think of more.
All
Orange
right.
man.
Comments of the day, guys. Comments of the day. What do we got?
All right. Comments of the day. First one. Tamika Nelson said, ooh, Brad's birthday is coming up. Also mine.
Ooh. That's right. We share birthdays.
Yeah. What are we doing for your birthday? We're not doing nothing?
It depends what we're doing for Tamika's birthday.
Let's go to Jamaica.
Aha.
Our next comment of the day comes from Roxanne Baptist, and this is the realest comment of the day. Everyone, please vote.
Yes.
Everyone, please vote.
Yes.
Yes, yes. All right, y'all. Our last comment of the day comes from Yumar Perez saying, Mr. Brad, the best. El Major.
El mejor, el mejor.
El mejor.
And happy birthday to Grandma Marge Higgs. And hopefully we get rid of Murphy. And we get rid of this Uncle Sam. And we have a good day tomorrow. And
Sally Mae.
Sally Mae or Fannie Mae?
Sally Mae. Look, that's a rich people problem. He don't even know who she is. Sally Mae.
I know who Fannie Mae is.
Knocks on my door for my student loans every day.
Oh, Fannie Mae is like
Sally.
Who's Fannie Mae? Isn't that a mortgage?
I don't want her either.
Yeah. Fannie Mae is mortgage. Sally Mae is the student loans. And Yo-Yo and Vanessa are my co-hosts. And with that, I'll see you all tomorrow. Thanks for watching.
So Sam, as part of the production, we have to say this disclaimer at the end of the show. Do you mind reading it for me?
Okay, but you know, Brad, I have to do everything around here. It's bad enough I've got to remember everything that happened on the episode from the previous day.
Forget it. I'll do it.
The proceeding was information only and not specific legal advice. Consult an attorney about your individual situation. Prior successful results do not guarantee a similar outcome in the future. To make an appointment with the Spar and Bernstein law firm located at 225 Broadway in New York City, call 1-800-529-5465. That's 1-800-529-5465. Easy to remember, 1-800-LAWLINK. That's 1-800-LAWLINK. Once again, make a call to 1-800-529-5465. And of course, link up with the law offices of Spar and Bernstein, located at 225 Broadway on the 5th floor. If I were you out there, make the call, make the link, make the connection, make it Spar and Bernstein. 1-800-LAWLINK. That's 1-800-529-5465, and now conveniently located in Hartford, Connecticut on 1 Congress Street. Visit us in Connecticut or in New York at 225 Broadway. That's 1-800-529-5465, 1-800-LAWLINK, 1-800-529-5465.